Hello everyone, this is a quick tutorial on how you can add tables of content or table of contents to your Word document automatically. Before we start adding a table of contents, we need to add proper heading and sections to our document. Something that will help with this is going to the View tab and activating the navigation pane. The navigation pane that appears on the left-hand side will help us understand where the sections or the proper headings for our document exist. Most often, because this tab is not available or visible, we do not get a feel of the overall structure of the document. Now let's go back to the Home tab, and let's say I want to create a document that has multiple sections. And I'm going to start with, let's say, introduction, and this introduction section, as we see, is not appearing in my headings tab under the navigation pane. So what I need to do is I need to add a proper heading style to this text so that this appears in my navigation pane. In this case, I want it to be the higher heading, and for that I can choose heading 1. When I do so, you see that now introduction is appearing in the headings tab under the navigation pane. Now let's say I go and add some text here, and now I want to add a subsection to my introduction. Again, I started with just regular text, and as we see by default, the style of our text is in normal font. Now, because I want the background to be a subheading of my introduction, I need to add a heading style that is one level higher than my master heading. So because my introduction was heading number 1 and I need background to be under introduction, I need to apply heading number 2. And notice that there's only heading number 1 and 2. As I add more heading numbers here, the higher numbers will start appearing. So I'm going to click on heading 2. And as I do, you see heading number 3 is appearing now. That allows me to add more subheadings to my document. So we see that as we do add heading number 2 to background, we see that in our headings, background is now indented under introduction, meaning background is actually a subheading or a subsection under the introduction section. So let's go ahead and add another body of text. And I want to add another subsection under background. So this time I want the literature review to be under background, so I'm going to apply heading number 3, and we see that literature review is appearing as a subheading or subsection of background, which itself is a subsection of introduction. So now if I go back and I want to add another subsection at the same level of background, under introduction I apply heading 2, and I see this new reviews heading is the same level as background, which is a subheading or subsection of introduction. So when I organize my document with proper subheadings, I can go ahead and let's add a table of contents at the beginning of our document. I can go to the References tab, and here I can see table of contents. So if I click on this and I choose any of these styles that are already predefined, or go to Custom Table of Contents and add my own version or style that I want, I can add one. We're going to use a predefined table here, so we're going to choose heading 1, heading 2, and heading 3. This will be the order that it will use to generate the table of contents. So in this case we have our heading 1, heading 2, and heading 3 applied to our headings for our document. So if I click this, what I'm expecting is to get a table of content. So as we see, it has added the table of content, and it has also added the proper indentation for each of the subheadings, similar to what we would see in the navigation pane. It is adding the enough dots to connect the heading titles to their page number, and as I modify my document, these page numbers will be updated properly and automatically. So let's say I want to move these two to a new page. So now literature review and reviews should be on page number 2. So we see that this is not updated, but two things we can do to update it. One is to click on it and press the F9 on the keyboard, or we can click on print preview or Control P on our keyboard, and this will update everything. As you see now, the literature review and reviews are on page 2 and the introduction and background are on page 1. So this would be the best way to start your documents, properly organizing them and changing their headings, to be able to create a table of contents automatically.